Hello, you beautiful legends, and welcome to Blunt Force Healing Podcast. This is episode number 542, and I'll try to fit within 5 to 6 minutes limit, although I'm not evading today's episode. The blog post is almost written, and today is about our fourth day in Gran Canaria, which is obviously in the past because we are now back in Ireland after 8 days on Canaries, and of course I still have a backlog of topics to discuss and write about. So if you see it the first time or you come from YouTube directly to that episode, this is just a video update, and it is integral part of the blog. So the best way is to go to the description and go to www.bluntforcehealing.com and go to the blog post. This video is embedded in the blog post always. So every day I write the blog post and record video like that, and it's embedded in the actual write-up, so you can consume that in the central point. Because of the backlog and the amount of things that I want to write about that happened on our trip, I'm only on day 4 that I'm updating about. And today I will just quickly tell you, because it's a journal, so I also mention things that are happening at the moment. So today was a fairly straightforward work-related day, and a bit of shopping for groceries, etc., because we returned yesterday's late evening, just kind of I think about 8:30 or something, so 8:30 p.m. So there was very little time to do anything, and today we kind of bought a little bit of stuff that already went off in the fridge after more than a week. So yeah, we needed to do those things. I needed to catch up with emails and stuff at work, which is boring, and obviously no point discussing it here. The only thing to highlight is that first, Julian had football training today, and he scored a hat-trick, and that was the only 3 goals in the match. Of course, it was internal training within the group that he's training, but still, I think it's even those small wins, not so small, because scoring 3 goals and the only goals in the match it matters. And on Saturday they have one of the league matches, but I think it's still friendlies and not counting towards the ranking, but they play against the local Donegal town team, which has a lot of his friends from school, and he's the only one that plays in the opposite team. So it will be it's always very interesting, and they were Julian's team was always winning, which was kind of pissing off the other guys. So we'll see if this match will be different. Will it be draw, or maybe they will lose first time with them, but we'll see. Hopefully not. Outside of that, tomorrow is one of those days that I call stormy days. That means that I will be out for the whole day. I'm going for office day in Dublin, so I will be working from the office. It's not mandatory, it's just we organize it sometimes to get together and also play soccer within the company. There's a couple of guys that like to play that from time to time, so it's a very nice initiative. So I will be starting probably from Donegal town around 5 a.m, after 5 a.m, to get for 9 o'clock to Dublin and start my workday. So very short night today. I need to wrap up and make sure that I posted everything. I prepared the bike and the scooter for Elizabeth and Julian, because tomorrow obviously they won't have car available. So there's about 4 kilometers to get to school. So Julian will be cycling. Elizabeth will go on the scooter. They will leave the bike. Elizabeth will return on the scooter, recharge it, and obviously when Julian will be finishing school, she will go and pick him up, and they will return again together. So that's pretty much the update for today. I'm already 5.5 minutes, so obviously I won't close it off in 5-6 minutes, but let me dive straight into update from the backlog, which was Thursday, the 4th day of our stay on Gran Canaria. And if you're interested in how it went and where we were, because I might mention references to previous days, of course it's better to check if you really like to know how it went. There's a couple of updates already from previous days, probably about 5 or 6 posts across the first 3 days, I think. So on the 4th day, we wanted to not go too far because we were tired after exploring and a couple of things that happened along the way, and the previous days were really packed. So we wanted to have a lighter day, but still wanted to use the weather because weather was beautiful and there was not a single rainy day or fully cloudy day. There were clouds sometimes passing over us, but in general the weather was always sunny and hot. So it was a beautiful stay, especially for the winter time in northern hemisphere, because it's still fairly wintry weather also here in Ireland. So on that day I decided to look up, because Gran Canaria is a volcanic island, so there's very little golden sand or standard sandy beaches. Most of the beaches are either rocky or kind of pebble beaches with bigger or smaller stones. And if you're lucky and you will find a nice and I would say bigger beach, it will likely be dark to black kind of sand, which is typical volcanic sand. And the only natural golden sand beaches are in the south, because from natural causes and perspective, Gran Canaria gets a lot of wind and sand coming from Africa, from West Sahara, and over probably thousands, if not millions of years, this sand collected in the southernmost part of Gran Canaria and created a vast area of sand dunes. And also, at the same time, there are nice sandy beaches, but also that caused this area to become very touristic. And the place there, the town of Maspalomas, is probably one of the biggest populations there. From touristic perspective, there's a lot of houses and estates that are typical holiday homes, etc. Obviously, there are people living there as well. Sorry, but the area is typically very touristic, and we stay there for 4 days. But that will be a separate set of updates in the coming days when I finish up, because first 4 days we spent in I would say southwestern part of Gran Canaria, and then another 4 days in south of Gran Canaria, which is Maspalomas. So today I'm just updating. It's probably the last 1 or 2 updates from the southwestern side. And we found a couple of beaches that are artificial, golden sand beaches that were created specifically for tourism. So they needed to build piers and create kind of bays and then bring the sand in to make sure that it is a kind of regular, I would say standard beach by definition that people kind of consider beach in most of the countries around the world. So there are areas like that. They are usually very close to the hotels and resorts, so it's again very populated and busy and crowded. So we found the beach that is called Anfi del Mar, and this place is quite interesting because on one side it's not very pleasing for, it wasn't very pleasing for us because we don't like crowds. We like secluded beaches and the places, and this one is obviously very crowded, but it's also on one of those kind of luxurious sides of resorts, because I don't remember the name of the person or the hotel group that built the resort there, but there's a huge, massive hotel there, and also that beach got created, and there's artificial small island in the shape of a heart. They created that as a kind of place for couples to relax, so it's kind of romantic thing for couples and for married people as a separate facility or amenity. And also the hotel is huge. There are external lifts that take people from the beach to their room floors, etc. So it definitely, a lot of money was pumped into that. There is a small market at the ground floor, so it is big, but also it draws a lot of people. And I had a small rant in the blog post today, and you can read my thoughts and opinion about those things. I won't be repeating myself in the video, but basically we went there, we spent there a couple of hours sunbathing. It was beautiful. Water was clear and very nice, but obviously the crowds were not our thing. We tried to be a little bit on the separate side using one of the concrete piers and stay there further from the beach and still enjoy the sun and be close to the water, and that was okay. And then after that, I think it was later in the afternoon, we got hungry and we decided to wrap up and go to one of the restaurants called Vinci's. The one interesting thing was that the restaurant didn't have menu, so you couldn't get a paper physical menu, but you had to scan the QR code on the table and choose stuff in your phone. It's kind of handy, but on the same side, I'm not sure how it works for older generations or people that don't really like using the phones or devices in the restaurant. So maybe they do have, spare kind of physical menus, but they just keep it for special occasions or special cases. I'm not sure, but yeah, we used that. We didn't have a problem with that. We ate very decent food there. It was quite an interesting decor in one place where I took the picture, and it's in the blog as well. So if you're interested, you can have a look. And afterwards, obviously, we spent the rest of the day kind of, relaxing, and I will write about it and record separately because I think that was the day. Yeah, that was the last day, so definitely that was Pana Day, when Julian and myself finally got time to play a bit of football, but that will be a separate thing. So overall, very nice day. We used the sun as much as we could. As we were there in the morning, because we arrived around, I would say, between 11 and 12, I think, there was still ongoing kind of promotional activity there, where there were small booths every couple of tens of meters, and there were representatives from the hotel group, and they were giving like a lottery things that you can just open it and you win something in theory. Obviously there is a catch. So they gave us 3, and Julian and myself only got something simple like branded Anfi hotel cap or t-shirt or things like that. while Elizabeth was, in theory, very lucky, and she got the choice of 3 grand prizes from those kind of promotional things every day. So they usually have only 2 or 3 of those grand prizes every day that they promote. And it's phone, tablet, or the smartwatch. But obviously there is a catch. The catch is that you need to sacrifice 90 minutes of your time and allow yourself to be taken on a tour around the hotel, the Love Island, or the Heart Island. Obviously, you're kind of, it's also kind of a hamper thing, so you get free sunbeds and some drinks. Oh, here is my lovely son, Croissant Gamer, today's hat-trick master that I mentioned already. Yes, I already mentioned that. So yeah, I'm finishing that up. I just want to mention that we were kind of approached about, well, we kind of were part of that lottery, and we got the option to sacrifice those 90 minutes, and we wanted to take the tour, and it was only for married couples. Obviously we were with Julian, and we would be taken with Julian as well. It just, I think that one of the conditions was that you had to be a married couple and obviously sacrifice that 90 minutes for the tour. The problem was that at the time, all the tour guides were busy, so we were asked to return after an hour, and we stayed on the beach for an hour and then decided that like we can stay longer, we don't really mind, and we'll check when we will be leaving or closer to leaving time if it's still available. And obviously after 2 or 2.5 hours, we went there with Julian, and the guy was already gone. So it seems like they were doing only morning promotion, or kind of they were finishing around noon or lunchtime. So he wasn't there. We could have returned the next day and kind of, do the tour, but we decided that it's not worth it. We had another 4 days that we wanted to use on other things. So we skipped that. And that's pretty much it from the update around Anfi, Del Mar, and the catch, as I mentioned in the title. I think that tomorrow I will just mention a little bit about the end of the 4th day that we played Pana with Julian, but that's a separate topic. And maybe I will mention something else because I'm pretty sure I forgot something from that day. But yeah, thank you very much for watching and listening and reading if you went to the blog post. I hope you liked it, and I hope you have a great rest of the day, afternoon or evening, wherever you are. Stay tuned and see you tomorrow.